640 fight, and I have Crawford winning this fight. Crawford's going to win this fight doing something that nobody's done to Canelo.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say. And it didn't take me going to camp to know this.
Okay.
He doesn't fight the one way that he can only fight to win it. Terence Crawford has 6 ways he can win it. And my money will go on the man who has 6 ways to win it over the man who has 1 way to win it.
Be the same version of guy that's going to show up in September? No. I mean, Canelo, he didn't look as fit as he did his last fight. He looked listless. He looked like he didn't care. He didn't have the crowd behind him.
Shawn Porter expresses strong confidence that Terence Crawford will defeat Canelo Alvarez. He believes Crawford's training is on another level and that he will approach the fight with a strategy and execution never seen before against Canelo. Porter predicts that Crawford's speed, precision, and discipline will overwhelm Canelo, making this a historic performance that will stand out as one of the most dominant victories in boxing history.
Though, if Crawford's going to win this fight, he'll surprise people in the fashion he does it in. Because a lot of people picking Crawford, they think foot speed and turn Canelo all night. And I'm like, nah, he's
born victor?
No, it's just he's definitely a lot better than the guys of the last couple of years who have tried to beat Canelo that way, Billy Joe, Caleb. But even though he's better than them, it didn't that game plan, it just didn't work. So it's not gonna look like that if Crawford pulls this off. It's gonna look different than that, to your point.
Roy Jones Jr., one of the most respected voices in boxing, has made it clear that he sees Terence Crawford as the more versatile fighter in this matchup. In Jones's view, Crawford possesses 6 different paths to victory, each rooted in his adaptability, ring IQ, and ability to make in-fight adjustments. By contrast, Jones believes Canelo Alvarez has only one clear way to win, by applying relentless pressure and landing his signature power shots. Jones emphasized that if Canelo fails to bring his absolute best on fight night,
He does have a chance, and I think he could be victorious. If he doesn't fight the one way that he can only fight to win it, Terence Crawford has 6 ways he can win it. And my money will go on the man who has 6 ways to win it over the man who has 1 way to win it.
So you think Canelo has to kind of fight the perfect fight, right?
If he don't, he's in trouble. If he does, he should be all good.
Let's talk about the weight a little bit, right? Because we all know everything you accomplished as a heavyweight. What is Terence dealing with right now?
I don't think Terence dealing with much of anything because Terence did like I did as a heavyweight. He bulked up to the weight. He's been dealing with super middles and light heavyweights in training. If you can deal with him in training, you can deal with him in the fight. So the weight should not even be an issue.
Do you think Terence is that one fighter where he could accomplish what a lot of people are thinking is not doable? Is he that one fighter who's just wired and has that different DNA?
He is. And not only to mention is he the guy that can, he's already done it. How many 2 or 3 division undisputed champions have we ever had besides Usyk is a 2 division undisputed champ? This dude is a 3 division undisputed champ already. And if he win this, he'll be a 4 division undisputed champ. We may never see that again. See, people don't like to celebrate the reality when it's happening. They'll wait till the person dead and they talk about it. This man is the only 3 division undisputed champion that boxing has ever had. And we're asking, are we wondering, can he step up to a task? Really? Do you know who we're talking about?
Crawford's tactical variety will overwhelm him. The Hall of Famer leaned toward Crawford in his prediction, explaining that versatility often decides elite matchups, especially when the skill gap is narrow, but the strategic gap is wide. Comedian and fight enthusiast Aries Spears offered his own historical take on the matchup, referencing decades of boxing history where top Mexican legends faced elite African-American fighters. According to Spears, in many of these high-profile encounters, the black fighters often emerge victorious.
Hispanic fighter, put him against the top-notch black fighter, the black dude usually edges him out. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the Latino fighters, because look at the greats. De La Hoya, motherfucking
Roberto Duran,
Arguello, Felix Trinidad, what's my man's name? Chavez. So there have been legends, but 9 times out of 10, when the top Mexican legend takes on the top black legend, the black dude wins. Boxing and basketball is just something that niggas just, we got that wop that just, We edge you out. We edge you out. Duran lost to Hagler. He got knocked out so viciously by Hearns. Rumor is he's still waking up today. He lost he did the no mas with Leonard.
Yeah, no, I've been hanging out with Sugar Ray Leonard recently. We talked about that whole situation.
Lost to Floyd. Yeah. He lost to Bernard. He lost to Sugar Shane Mosley. Usually the black fighters edge out the Latinos when it come down to it.
So basically you're saying Crawford's going to win because he's black.
I'm saying he's going to win because he's got skills. But that black component, that's that extra juice.
That's that extra juice? I mean, look.
It's like the Batmobile when it's going fast, and then he hits the nitro button, and the flame shoots out of the back of the car and takes it to another level. Black dudes have the nitro switch.
He pointed to the blend of slick defensive skills, counterpunching precision, and adaptability that historically has troubled aggressive forward pressing Mexican fighters. While Spears acknowledged that Canelo is among the most complete and battle-tested champions of his era, he framed this fight as another chapter in a long lineage of culturally and stylistically contrasting matchups where speed, defense, and ringcraft have had the edge. Veteran boxing journalist Dan Rafael focused on Crawford's mental approach, highlighting that the undefeated champion is not only aware of the dangers Canelo presents, but welcomes them. Rafael noted that Crawford's mindset has always been built on embracing challenges rather than avoiding them, instead of feeling pressure.
I was really excited that Terence Crawford, when we were going through some of the historical things that could take place if he wins this fight, what they would mean. And at the end of that part of the conversation, he says, there's a lot riding on this fight. Like, he knows it. I don't think he feels pressure from it. I think he embraces that. But I like to hear that the fighter understands the magnitude of this fight and embraces that and realizes, like the general public that follows boxing or the media, that this is a bigger deal than your average fight, and that he is keenly aware of that. So I love that. He was very, very well spoken, and we discussed a lot of different topics, and I think people will get a kick out of it. It's on our podcast feed. It'll be up on the YouTube channel, and I hope people check it out.
Sticking with Crawford, because I've spoken to a few guys in his team, and there seems to be this mindset where they really, really believe they're going to win this fight, and obviously every fighter that goes into any fight will believe they win this fight. But do you get that impression that they're in no doubt that this goes their way, and it's a case of just turning up for a payday?
Oh, absolutely. Terence Crawford has never been the kind of fighter that's just looking to take a fight to get paid. Yeah, he's going to get paid a whole ton of money, and so is Canelo Alvarez. But, if you follow Terence Crawford, if you've watched the way he fights, watched the way he conducts himself, know him at all, even just a little bit, I can't claim to be like best buddies with him, but I got a pretty good feel for Crawford, having been around him so many times for all these fights he's had. There is 0.000% chance that he is coming into this fight with anything other than victory in mind. I mean, he really believes that this is his moment to shine and create a huge addition to what's already a tremendous boxing legacy. Besides just the money, I mean, Terence Crawford can take a fight against anybody, make a good amount of money. And so while that's important,
Crawford uses the magnitude of such fights to sharpen his focus and elevate his preparation. Rafael explained that this mental stability could be a deciding factor. Crawford will enter the ring fully prepared for every possible scenario without being rattled by the occasion. This bout is being BU as one of the most significant challenges of Crawford's career. Arguably the best opponent he has faced, for Canelo, the stakes are equally high. Defeat at the hands of Crawford, a naturally smaller fighter moving up in weight.
Legacy. And he gave a resounding yeah. A resounding yeah. He said it would massively tarnish Canelo's legacy. And some of the things that he said were just basically things that most of us know, just some register and make sure that other people know and others don't, right? But it would tarnish his legacy, and for the obvious reasons. One is we know that the guy's older. Crawford's older. He's going to be 38 years old here, right? So he's an older fighter. He's an inactive fighter, right? And that most of the time, these are things that, make people say that people are going to lose. Man, he's inactive. So he's pretty inactive, hasn't fought in a year, hasn't fought more than once a year in 3 to 4.
Could leave a lasting blemish on his otherwise legendary record. In boxing's historical narrative, legacy is everything, and losing to a smaller man at the peak of your fame often draws harsher scrutiny. Many believe that for Canelo, Victory is essential not just for pride, but to protect his place among the all-time greats of the sport. Shohei, the adult, a widely respected boxing analyst, has managed to break down the matchup without bias, giving due credit to both men.
Changed it all?
Not a whole lot. It hasn't changed all that much. Listen, the skull fight, could Canelo have done more? Absolutely. But is that going to be the same version of guy that's going to show up in September? No. I mean, Canelo, he didn't look as fit as he did his last fight. He looked listless. He looked like he didn't care. He didn't have the crowd behind him. And Marcus, you've been to a ton of Canelo fights. You know how that arena is. It is insane. Insane. In Vegas, I mean, it's deafening the entire fight. I remember when he fought BJ Saunders in Texas.
Oh my God.
And he's waving Saunders on 80,000 fans.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, he is a gladiator. You know, I called Tim a warrior. Canelo's a gladiator. He is there for the adoration of the fans. I just think that he was a little too clinical in there that night. You know, he didn't have that same drive. He had a guy who just was not willing to engage. That's not going to be Crawford, and that's not going to be Canelo. They're going to be their peak of what they are at this point. Because again, Crawford is 38 years old. Canelo will be 35 by then. So I think they're going to be the peak for what they are at their ages. But it's easy to go, wow, what have you done for me lately? That's usually how everyone kind of sees everything. So, but I think it's good. I think it makes the fight more enticing if a lot of people are thinking that Crawford can win. And don't get me wrong, Crawford can absolutely win the fight. I'm not saying he can't win the fight. But in terms of, you know, how I see it, it hasn't really changed my thoughts because I know better than to just trust that last thing I saw because there's a lot of confounding factors.
He pointed out that Canelo's strength, durability, and relentless pressure have been decisive factors in his dominance over the years. Canelo's ability to absorb punishment, set traps, and deliver powerful counters is unmatched in the division. At the same time, Showbiz highlighted Crawford's unique background, including his early years in wrestling, which have given him a heightened sense of balance, positioning, and the ability to read opponents in real time. This combination of athletic pedigree and boxing intelligence could be Crawford's greatest weapon,